I have just concluded that if I ever get low on energy, I'm going to just listen to the interview with Gloria Mayfield Banks. What an incredible source of passion for her work, conviction in the difference that she can make in the world, practical ideas that can help all of us do better. I come away from that just absolutely inspired. One of the things that hits me over and over in the things that Gloria said is the importance of the people with whom we surround ourselves. We can't always choose that, but to an extent, we can guide that. We can make that work. So find people who bring us up and don't bring us down, people who are willing to feed into who we are as individuals. That's really important because sometimes people around us want us to just change so that we become like them. And unfortunately, that's going to take away self-confidence instead of building self-confidence. When we got into the conversation of what do you do with people that are discouraged, she said, I always get with them and say, look back in your life and tell me about a time when you were shining. What a great vision, isn't it? When you're shining, thinking about the glow that comes from achievement, the glow that comes from success, the glow that comes from just feeling good about ourselves. Think about a time when you were shining. What's so good about that is that everyone has those times, but what we often do is forget to affirm them. Then we push them down into the background and think about the places we messed up, problems, how deep they are, how we can't see our way around them. Think back on a time when you were shining. It reminds me of work necessary to help salespeople move up to the next level in whatever venture that they're in. So many times they can set really high goals, but then they wonder, how am I going to achieve those goals? In my opinion, sales is a transference of conviction and belief. But what if you don't believe yourself? Well, there's always something to believe in. So thinking about a time of achievement, particularly when somebody is in business building activities, when they achieve something great. And then if they say, well, yeah, but that was kind of luck. They kind of came to us. It was an unusual circumstance. This reveals self-talk of people that are filled with self-doubt. So sometimes what can really help people build that confidence is to say, wait a minute, it's your name that's on that contract. It's you that built that organization. It's you that did that. Remember, nobody else did it. Giving people that confidence because they remembered about a time they were shining, that can build them farther forward. Gloria said that in her mind, the two most important things in moving forward are integrity and confidence. Integrity helps us to sleep better at night. It helps people follow us better because, in fact, people will not follow where we won't go, and we can't teach what we don't know. So she's really an illustrator of that. Her book, Quantum Leap, Carrying People to Another Place. Guess what I pulled out of that is when she talked about hustle being not the same as busy. That's really easy to get into the activity trap. We can look at our things we accomplished in the course of a day and say, man, I was busy all day, knocked all those things out. But if it's not the most important things, then it's just being busy. Another term for that is what's known as creative avoidance. Now, anybody can be uncreatively avoiding. They can look at something they don't want to do and just say, I'm not going to do it. Well, that's kind of uncreative and that's belligerent. Usually that leads to a pretty immediate negative outcome in the world of work. So what happens is sometimes we get into creative avoidance. That's if we have a list of 10 things to do, one of which is going to be difficult, challenging, but in fact would probably move us farther forward than the other 9 put together. So easy to work on the other 9. And as we work on the other 9, we think, I'm getting so much done. I'm ticking these items off. Look at my checklist. It's diminishing. Man, I'm in a flurry of activity. This is great. We go home. Wow, I got 9 out of my 10 things done. The reality is the 10th one would have been worth more than the other 9. So creative avoidance is when we just don't want to go do that one thing. So let's be learning together to always go do that one thing. Get the unpleasant out of the way. And we're going to discover it's not that unpleasant after all. In general, people want the same things. If we can work on that from a standpoint of confidence and integrity and conviction, it'll make such a difference. To be faced with dyslexia and to go on from there to a distinguished academic career, Howard University, Harvard Business School, 2 of the great institutions of higher learning, despite the fact that her self-esteem suffered from that dyslexia. Yet Gloria found ways to overcome that and move forward. She says, you can always find people that can do the things that you don't do as well. Just do what you can do the very, very best and let that be unique. She always tries to find out with people, what makes you feel best about yourself? What makes you feel happy? What would make you feel even happier? Well, then go as far as you can see. And once you're to that point, let's see if you can see farther. That's how she can move people forward in such a brilliant way. I am so uplifted and encouraged to have this time. I'm going to remember what she said and give myself a personal pat on the back, maybe a little bit more often, is the difference it makes. Gloria reminded us to keep everything in perspective. Whenever we just feel like things have no hope, let's look around us, for there are people that had no hope that are now leading and making a huge difference. There are other people that are never going to have the opportunities that we have. Keeping things in perspective, moving it forward, being the very best at who we are.